A 3-day, 2-night interactive Star Wars hotel experience. Disney World is known for its themed hotels. You have Port Orleans, the Polynesian Wilderness Lodge, All-Star Movies Resort, and a lot more. But this is different. The Star Wars Hotel is way more immersive than the others, which, despite all the bells and whistles and coats of paint, are pretty regular hotels when you get down to the meat and potatoes. The Star Wars Hotel is called Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. The experience will last 3 days and 2 nights, with no options for a shorter or longer stay. The reason behind that is because of an interactive story you and fellow guests will take part in. And in the story, your ship has been boarded by the First Order. The hotel and Galaxy's Edge seem to be taking a different approach than the other Disney parks hotels and lands. When you go to Galaxy's Edge, you are in a story. If you want to participate in the story, you see kids sneaking around with resistance spies. You can interact with characters. You are immersed in a story. With the other lands, with the other parks, they're not like that. So the approach here has a layer of narrative on top of it, which is a cool change of pace. It sets itself apart. And the hotel itself is taking the same narrative approach. I've always said growing up that Star Wars was always a sandbox to me. I didn't want to just watch it. I wanted to be a participant. And these experiences definitely take that sentiment to heart. Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser will not have any windows to the outside world. Instead, all the windows will be screens that show the cosmos and give you the feeling of being in space. It's like being on a cruise, a fake cruise, a Star Wars cruise, a cruise in space. Now, there are rumors about pricing. And you all know how I feel about rumors. Take them or leave them. Maybe this is true, maybe it's not. Rumors always seem to be a big game of telephone, but I'll feed the beast here. It's rumored, and again, take this with a giant heaping spoonful of salt, but it's rumored that for a 3-day, 2-night experience, it'll cost you $1,400 per person. And I've seen that number as high as $3,300 a person. So in terms of the rumor machine, it's all over the place. People are reporting on widely different numbers. So again, take all of this with a big heaping spoonful of salt. Both prices are too high for my blood, especially when it comes to a per person charge. I mean, if you want to get a room at Disney's Contemporary Resort, which is the nicest and most convenient hotel on the grounds, it can cost between $400 to $500 a night per room, and it can go even higher at certain times of the year and for different rooms. And of course, that price doesn't include park tickets. So, if you have a family of 4 and you stay in the Contemporary and get some park tickets, it'll run you up too. Probably comparable to the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience. So regardless of what the cost will be, we can all agree that it's going to be high, right? It's going to be high. Probably too high for my blood. But again, we don't know anything concrete. We don't know if the prices will include park tickets, which I doubt. We don't have any information about any of that stuff. You can't poo-poo something based off of a rumor. That's silly. We all know how faulty the rumor machine is all the time. And if you go around poo-pooing everything based off of a rumor, that's coming from a place where you want to poo-poo everything before you know anything about the something. And that's weird. So, when you get to the Star Cruise terminal, you'll enter a launch pod, be shot into space. You arrive on the Halcyon ship, some airlocks will open, and you'll walk onto the main deck. There will be activities, just like a real cruise. As cool as this sounds, I would rather spend my money on a real cruise. I like seeing more of the world. But I'm sure when my daughter gets older, Galactic Star Cruiser will be something she'll want to do. And then what will I say as those big blue eyes are looking at me as she clutches the Chewbacca doll I got her when she was a baby? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to St. Lucia so mommy and daddy can drink some pina coladas. Nah, I'm sure I'll end up going in the distant future. I'm hoping the rumored per person prices aren't true. I'm sure they're not going to be much cheaper than that, but I hope they're pretty steep. Disney is already expensive, right? It's always been expensive. And I've been spoiled. For the past 20 years, I've only lived 2 hours away from the park, so I really only have to buy like Florida resident tickets, and they're reasonable. And some people save years to go to Disney World, travel from all around the world. And here I am. I hop in the car, drive a couple hours, and I'm back in my bed the same day. It's ridiculous. The concept art for Galactic Star Cruiser definitely looks fun, and I'm sure it will be. You're on the bridge, kids are interacting all over the place. You're being invaded by the First Order, an entire hotel LARPing some Star Wars. It looks cool. Kids will flip a shit. And I'm really excited to see what it ends up being like, because it's a really awesome idea. It really is. A big Star Wars hotel that makes it feel like you're on a cruise in space taking part in a Star Wars story. If you don't think just that sounds neat, then man, I can't help you.